Welcome back! As you've probably already discovered, there's an almost endless amount of data available to you, and this can sometimes be overwhelming. You've already learned what the most important reports are and how to make that information useful to you, but there's an additional tool called Analytics Intelligence, which uses machine learning, that is artificial intelligence, to scan the data that you have and report back anything that sticks out. This can be a huge time saver and can show you things that you might never have known to look for. Let me show you how it works. First things first, make sure that you are using the demo account, okay? And then, as usual, Google Analytics 3. Now, simply all we're gonna do is make sure that we are at home and then move to the right, and we have this little almost hidden icon called Insights. We're gonna click on it. Now, this amazing tool has two different sections. The first section, which is at the top, is that this tool is gonna report anything that sticks out back to you directly. And we have two things here right now. Website performance week over week to show you if there's anything that sticks out. But here we have something that's more direct. Fewer users returned to your site in September. Okay, that's interesting. If I click here, we're gonna get some data, and here it says you had 52,000 users in August and 3.3 thousand came back in September, which means 6% of your users returned to your site. Interesting, not super valuable per se, but if you're gonna have something like, you might have an insight here that says your bounce rate increased by 10% compared to last month, and you know that you have updated your homepage, for example, well, then you know that there's probably something up. You can go into that report and find more information. So the first thing is the Analytics Intelligence reporting back anything that sticks out to it back to you, or just giving you some data like website performance week over week. The other part of Analytics Intelligence is where you can get insights on demand. For example, we have something here called Basic Performance. If I open up this tab, there are going to be some pre-programmed questions such as how many users did I have last week? Over the last 6 months, on what weekday did I have the most users? If I click here, we're gonna get all of this data based on the weekdays, and we can see how it's performing. Now, we've already found this information ourselves. We know that the pattern is that it's performing better on weekdays compared to weekends. But again, look how quickly it just pulled out all of this important information to you. That's why this is so useful. Now, if we go back and we ask how many users did I have last week, we're gonna get that information here as well, and we're gonna get them by date. Now, let's go back and go to something different. We can go down to, for example, understanding trends, and then show me the trend of my bounce rate over the last 3 months. So not only are you gonna get the bounce rate here with all of the data showing between the 1st of July to the 30th of September, but you can also go and check out the follow-up questions. Because as we're looking at the average bounce rate, we can see that the bounce rate has indeed increased over time here. So we can ask the follow-up question, why did the bounce rate change? So let's click there. And now it's gonna pull the data for us with the changes of the bounce rate. We have two different days where we're gonna see an increase. It's not huge, it's a slight increase, doesn't give us too much data. But going down here, we can see where we have the highest bounce rate. For example, default channel grouping paid search. So there's a pretty massive increase in bounce rate in the paid search. So that is telling us already, okay, something is off with our ads. We need to check over our ads because we're targeting people who don't actually want to be here because they're bouncing. We can also look at the countries. We can see that the United States are actually doing really good for the direct people who are landing at home. They're lowering their bounce rate, so that is also a very positive change. But we already know that the US was a really good audience. We've seen this before. And then we're gonna look down here. We can see that the direct people from Australia, well, they have an increase in bounce rate. Maybe because we haven't had so many Australians before. Now, the most important data we're getting here is the massive increase in bounce rate from the paid search. And we are only finding this out because we're asking Google Analytics what happened to, or rather what was the trend with the bounce rate. It showed us the trend. We could clearly see on this chart, if I go back here, that there is an average increase in the bounce trend, and then we just went past and we asked, why did my bounce rate change? We could see because we're failing with our paid searches. So once again, you have so many pre-programmed questions in here that you can go and check out for your own data when you're getting it. And also, you're gonna get the information here whenever something sticks out. If you have a spike, if you have a drop, if there's something standing out, if you have unusually many new people or unusually many returning, or a specific country that's increasing, etc, etc. And if there's anything you want to save down, you can go to the right here and you can save the insight. You can also mark it as read to not show it, and you can delete it. And then you're gonna see that the saved is gonna be in here, and everything that you've read is going to be saving in over here. So this is a huge shortcut when it comes to understanding the data that's on your account. Remember, you can search for anything up here like we did early in the course, but Insights, this is really the shortcut to getting a lot of valuable data, both showing you loopholes that you might not have known to look for, but also to ask the basic questions to get the data in front of your eyes if you're not planning on doing any deep dive in the reports. So not only do you have a deep understanding of Google Analytics, its different reports, how to use the data, and how to set up your individual tracking to analyze performances and to find high quality traffic, you've now also got this amazing analytics intelligence tool that's constantly working for you, monitoring your data and giving you suggestions to constantly improve. It's like having someone work for you and keeping an eye on your business growth for free. Amazing. So let's head over to the next lecture and I'll see you there.